Hello everybody, it is Ghost back here and we are with another video. I am with Callum and Oscar. As usual, Robin isn't here, but we are going to be talking about a topic that has been sort of controversial really in this last year, because a lot of people have been sort of angry with this in the last year. It's about review scores and how some people consider them to be a little bit unreliable, some people use them quite often, and in this video we are going to be talking about whether we use them and whether we think they're fully reliable. Now, I did make a video on this before, so some of you may know my opinion on this, but of course, I will still give my opinion in this video. So, who wants to go first? I'll leave it on to Callum because Oscar always goes first. So, Callum, what do you think about this topic?
Well, like we were talking about before, Oscar said that he likes to look at demos before he buys a full game, which I do kind of understand, so you get an idea of what you're going to be paying like £40 or £50 for. But in a way, I kind of think it's down to you as a player. You can't trust someone else's opinion on a game. So, like, someone might say to me that The Last of Us is crap, and I'll just turn around and smash them straight in the face because they're chatting shit. So, I think it's personally down to you as the player whether you think a game is good or bad or not. So, if IGN or whoever like that writes a review, then you can't really trust that because it's someone else's opinion, not yours. You shouldn't base how you see the game on that. It's your personal preference, and that's pretty much what I have to say.
Yeah, so, I mean, I was thinking about this, like, earlier, as Callum was saying, like, you know, the demos were always kind of like a point of reference for me to, like, whether I was going to buy a game or not. Like, I mean, there's always, like, specific games like, you know, FIFA, all the sports games usually, which have a demo that come out about a month before the actual game releases, and usually it's like a build which is like, you know, a couple of months before the demo is actually released. It's like quite an old build, so it's almost like a beta in a way, or a beta. But I use it as the kind of a method of like saying, well, is this game worth buying? And usually, like for a game like FIFA, I play the demo and I'm like, okay, is this something I'll be playing for months, or will it be something I'll play for 1 month and then go, this is going to go back on my shelf or something like that? I mean, when I think about those kind of things, usually a demo gives me that help. But when a game doesn't have a demo, obviously, usually you end up relying on reviews, or at least sometimes you might, you know, for example, like Uncharted, you know, I'll buy it whether it's got like a you know, 5 out of 10 on IGN or something. You know, I'll buy it anyway because it's a game I want to get. And the same goes for like The Order, which I've already pre-ordered, which I've said many a time. Yeah,
I had no idea.
I don't know. Yeah, how does anyone not know that? I know, but you know, obviously those games are kind of the ones that you're going to buy anyway. I mean, it's people who always buy games like every year, like Callum always buys COD, and
I don't always buy COD. Shut up.
So
bold claims in Greatness Debates.
Yes. So I mean, you know, games which come out every year, people are probably just like used to buying, and they don't care what the review scores is. But on a specific game, maybe one that's like, you know, a new IP, something like The Last of Us, for example, people might have been a bit skeptical that it was a new IP by Naughty Dog. We know they're a very, very good company, but is it going to be as good as the games they've made in the past? And you know, people might have gone, well, I'm going to wait for the reviews, and the reviews come out like with like, you know, massive like 9s or 10s out of 10s, and everyone's like, okay, I'll buy it. But again, a demo came out. I think it was didn't the demo come out with the God of War Ascension or something? I think.
No idea.
I think that did happen. I'm like, you know, 2 years ago, so I don't know for sure. But I remember that happening, and I remember people saying, yeah, The Last of Us is definitely a game I'm going to buy, and that was because of the demo. Well, not obviously all of it, the demo, but the demo does help in my opinion. So I think that demos are, and also to an extent in reviews as well, are very helpful to actually, you know, telling you whether you should buy a game or not. But yeah.
Okay, so personally, if you did watch my video, you'll remember it was actually entitled "Why Video Game Reviews Are Unreliable." So personally, I don't think they are very reliable, but if you use multiple different reviews, and if you take into consideration that a review score these days is no longer about whether you're looking at like the facts of the game, you know, whether it has this, this, and this, and whether it does this well, this well, this well. As long as you consider that that review scores these days are just a matter of opinion and nothing more, nothing less, then you can use multiple different reviews. And if there is a certain common thing about the game discussed in all the reviews, then obviously you know that that's fairly reliable. So say, for example, if every single review you look at mentions the fact that the game has horrible microtransactions, then that's something you should take into consideration. But if you look at one review score and they say this has too much water, don't buy it, I'll give it a 7.8 out of 10, then obviously that review's not going to be the most reliable. So it should always be taken with a grain of salt, I think. Review scores are very useful if you want to decide whether or not to get a game, but never look at one review score and decide whether to get a game. That is the only way to go about it. And if you don't want to use review scores at all, then as Oscar said, demos actually are very useful, although I never put any time into demos because I don't see myself, I don't count it as a full game. It's not something I actually see myself benefiting from. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say on it. I've gone into this in great detail before, but by and large, that's all of it really. I mean, use them at your own risk.
Yeah. I was just thinking like about the demos kind of thing. I was like saying, well, Ghost was like saying how like he wouldn't use a demo specifically as something like he wouldn't play it extensively as to say like, oh, I'm going to buy this game because it's a demo or whatever. But like I was like thinking, well, it's at the end of the day it's free. So I mean it's like with Battlefield Hardline, which is coming out I think in March sometime, March 20th I think it is. And that's got a beta whatever you want to say coming out. I think is it like is it tomorrow? Is it Monday or something like that? I don't know when it is specifically, but I know that's meant to be coming out soon, and that is essentially a demo, and that will basically get people hyped for the game, or they'll suddenly see flaws in the game and be like, well, which way are they going to go? And then they'll wait for the reviews, and the reviews might say it's negative or positive, and people think, okay, I'm not going to buy this game, or I'm going to buy this game, depending on the reviews and stuff. So I think people are heavily influenced by reviews, especially on like IGN, which people have always seen, well, they always give so many 10s to people. And, well, yeah, but that's because it's one review score. It's not, there's so many different ones, and people just take into account one websites, and it's kind of that's where review score starts to become slightly unreliable, in my opinion. But
yeah, there were countless review scores last year that I really wasn't happy about. Take the first thing off the top of my head that actually comes to mind was when I looked at, before I bought the game. Well, actually, I pre-ordered the game, then looked at the review score for it when it came out, and this was Alien Isolation. GameSpot gave it a 6 out of 10, and I ended up playing it and really enjoyed it. It was one of my games of the year, so it's completely opinion, and you cannot say that based on one review that a game is good or bad. So obviously some people use it to their advantage if they want to prove a game's bad, but it always should be taken with a grain of salt. But that is the end of the video.
I think my problem
no,
is no, it's not. I wanted to add an extra point. I think I think that the problem that I have is that I just buy games because like I know other people are buying them. So like I bought Far Cry 4 because that was because I played the previous one and I thought that this one would be an improvement, which it kind of was, but it kind of wasn't. And because I'd like seen it played, I'd seen demo, gameplay, etc. like that. That's partly my problem. And then there's just like me buying the game flat out because of like overhype or something like that, such as like Watch Dogs or Destiny. And the reviews for those games were like they were good, so that was I did kind of base my purchase off of that, which was a mistake, I think. But yeah, I think I retarded and I can't think of anything else to say, so I'm going to shut up.
I've been pretty interested actually with seeing how reviews have changed in recent years, because I looked at a review from like IGN from like, I can't remember, it was like 4 years ago now, from 2011 or something like that, about Half-Life 2, like, and it was on the PC, and it was so much different to how it is now. Like, they, instead of just going through different sections and stuff, they just had like a half-an-hour video of them going over the pros and cons of it, and it was much more honest. It seemed much more genuine about how, and the review seemed to emphasize how it was only his personal like opinion. The reviewer didn't say any of this was facts. He just said that it was something that he found about the game. So maybe that's been something that has come, become a bad habit, I guess, with reviewers. Maybe they've not taken that into consideration in recent years, but I don't know why that would be. But yeah, that is the end of the video, unless somebody else wants to add another point.
No.
Okay.
I think we should end it.
Okay. Thank you everybody for watching. We hope you all have a
Don't
fantastic...
do drugs.
Don't do drugs. That's a very important life lesson. People, don't do drugs. They're not good for you. And they can end up causing some serious damage. But
Callum would know.
what do you think? Yeah, Callum definitely knows, and also likewise with alcohol. I mean, look at Callum. That is.
Yeah, I'm completely messed up because I live in Somerset and I'm an alcoholic. Actually, I've just had a pint, so yeah, life's good at the moment.
Okay,
life's
nice.
good. What do you think about this topic? Do you think review scores? Do you think review scores are reliable? Do you use them yourself? Do you think they are unreliable? And do you think? Well, trying to think of something else to finish off the video.
Do you think this is a good end to the video?
Yes, that's a good one. Do you think it's a good end to the video? Go ahead and leave your thoughts in the comment section below.
Do you think I should get help for my
That's a good
alcohol?
one.
Yes.
Yeah. And well, maybe if you stop drinking all day, Callum, you could actually get somewhere with your foreign career. But anyway.
Yes, Callum. Hugh.
Okay, see you later. Okay, see you
It
later,
needs to
everybody.
implement.
Just say Dutch
Have
and
a
we're done.
great day.
Dutch.
Dutch.